Jamaica's one of my favorite meets.
Really?
Like going to Kingston, running at like the National Stadium.
Yeah.
I run there twice, I think now, maybe 3 times, and every time it's just I like the food a lot. Jamaican food's good, so it's good to just be in Jamaica, eating Jamaican food, and then the crowd and stuff it's just pretty cool. Have you been to that meet or?
Yeah, I've been 2 or 3 times. I'm laughing because I'm half Jamaican.
Okay.
So every time I've gone to the track meet, I've literally eaten myself out of the track meet because I get there and I'm like, ooh, ackee and saltfish, jerk chicken, oxtail. I eat everything and then the meat comes around and I'm like,
yeah, because they just got the buffet. We just going through bag. Yeah.
Right,
so.
But it's a dope meet. I mean, the Jamaican fans are
can't beat it.
Yeah, they're nuts. So
were you there in 2017? When Usain Bolt ran his last 100 at the National Stadium?
I think I might have. Yeah, I think I was actually there. I
think so too. And it was insane. Paul was actually my agent.
Yeah.
He was trying to get me in that race. He was like, "Hey, you want to run 100? There's an open lane." And I should have done it, but my coach would have been upset at me if I would have ran 100. So it's all right.
Well, sounds like it was a fun race though.
You're half Jamaican. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
But both of my
parents.
Where
in New York? Down city, uptown, upstate.
Queens.
Queens, okay.
Yeah, but when I go back, I don't go to Queens.
Yeah.
I go to the city, and if you want to see me, come see me in the city.
Yes, I mean I've been to New York a lot of times, but I've stayed in like Manhattan.
Yeah. There's no other place to be. If I were to ever move back to New York, I would want to live in the city, for sure.
I mean, I'm kind of into it, and I don't know if you have a lot of property or whatever. I know a couple athletes are doing like the property grind, and the real estate market in New York is kind of crazy because everybody's moving out of the city.
Everybody's moving out. Yeah.
So obviously there's a huge increase in people wanting houses right now, but also there's a lot of stuff going on in the market in New York City, especially maybe not like other places in the country. So I don't know if you know if you have a place in New York or if you're...
I don't have a place in New York. New York went through like the great exodus with the pandemic. But yeah, real estate in New York is just insane. So I would definitely, if I lived in New York City, I would have to rent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Spending millions of dollars
for a shoebox
for a studio.
Yeah. No, I feel that. That's why I like Phoenix, because you can get a lot of house for a little bit of money. Yeah. And you're training in Texas right now,
I'm in Texas, and I have a nice little townhouse that, something like that in New York would easily be $2 million for nothing. But the Texas, to me, for down south Texas is kind of expensive, or at least Austin.
What city do you live?
I'm in
Austin.
Austin is the most expensive in Texas.
Courtney Okulu, she has a few properties, and we talk about it a lot. Yeah. And she said like the rent and the property value in Austin doubled in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I remember I was looking at a piece of property. It was actually a townhouse in what they call the Mueller area, close to downtown Austin, but not downtown. This was in 2015, and they were starting at $500,000. And so it was $500,000. Hey. In 2015, I got back on the housing market. I backed out of it for whatever reason. 2018, started looking for where I now live. The same townhouse that was $500,000 in 2017, by 18 was pushing $900,000.
Jeez, what's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Got the fresh glasses on too.
I just bought them. I gotta wear them. I just bought them.
How are you? I don't think we've ever. Have we met in person?
I want to say yes, but then I met a lot of people in person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is me?
I'm a lot older than you.
We're just rolling right now.
So.
That was when I remember Under Armour. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
What's up? Are you healthy now?
Yeah.
God, it takes a while for you sometimes.
Hey,
That's what happens when you play football.
I like this bromance. Okay.
That's what happens when you play football.
Hey, just let me be old for a little bit. We were talking about that. You're the young guy. How old are you? 23?
I'm 23.
Yeah, and I'm the middle ground, 26. And I'm not going to ask how old you are because that's rude. But
she's 21.
I like you already. But I'm 34. Almost 35.
So you just drove. When did you get here? Did you drive up from Gainesville?
I've been back and forth probably for like 2-3 days now because I didn't want to stay in the hotel. So I came here. Yeah, I came here, practice. Then I'll like
go. How far is the drive?
Like an hour 15 for me.
That's easy.
So I went back and forth for like 2 days. Kitty and them lost. So after they lost, I came back. They lost to Georgia, so they don't go to the World Series.
Oh, okay.
So after that, came back.
Oh, yeah, for softball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So after that, came back. Kicked it, chilled. Yesterday was my first official night. And today and tomorrow, meet so late. So then after that, go back on Tuesday morning.
You know, that's what I was telling my coach. We gotta get reservations at Fogo de Chao so we can celebrate on Monday.
Big baller.
Because it's about to be hot. So
Yeah,
regardless, we're gonna be celebrating something.
I could definitely agree with that.
Big ballers.
No, it's good. So how's training going?
It's been good, man. I'm healthy, happy, emotionally stable.
That's the most important.
All aspects of my square ass life is amazing right now. So I'm not really pressed about the outcomes of this weekend, more so the outcome in 2-3 weeks from now, because as you know, that's way bigger. You've been there, so it's way bigger experience than anything else. But I mean, training has been phenomenal. I mean, you've seen a couple of my films. Like I'm figuring out a lot of things. I'm running fast consistently. But the biggest thing is right now is just doing it when it counts. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So.
Well, I always tell this story, and I probably told you this story, but I heard a story or a rumor from Alan Johnson. Obviously, you know who Alan Johnson is. And he was worried or nervous at the 96 or 2000 Olympic trials. And I don't know if it was his girlfriend at the time or his wife or whatever, because you know how stories get. They kind of get mumbled up when they get told. And he was like, "Why are you worried, Alan? Like, when's the last time you ever got fourth place in anything? Right? Because to make the team, to make the Olympic team, you gotta be top three. So, like, I always go into the mindset, obviously, we're going to win, and we want to compete, and we want to win, and we want to win as fast as possible.
Third place is just as good
but
as first.
You don't really got to worry if you feel confident, hey.
Worst case scenario.
I
got to lose to these 3 people.
Yeah.
If they all beat me, then look, I'm SOL.
Yeah, so. No, that's good, man.
No, I'm glad you're doing good. Enough about me. How are you, though?
I'm great.
I know you had a false start hiccup altercation in Texas.
Oh, yeah, that was a nightmare. So, yeah, the Texas meet was actually...
I heard it was a horrible meet.
No, the meet itself, the track, great. Like the facilities, it was
what
just
meet is this?
AP Ranch.
AP Ranch.
Oh, you were
It was just so windy that day. And it was raining to start the meet, so when we were warming up, it was raining, and it was so windy that...
I'm so glad I didn't go.
Yeah, so we...
Yes, be glad you didn't.
And then I false started. Well, I didn't really false start, so I flinched, and I thought I false started, so I went, and they did the gun, and I was like, oh, they're going to call it back, and they didn't. So everybody just took off, and I was like, oh! And I just finished the race because there was actually scheduled a consolation race for the people that didn't make the final, so I was like, oh, I'm going to get another chance anyways. And then the consolation race comes up, and I'm getting warming up, and I get kind of tight, so I'm just like, eh.
Yeah. That track is a straightaway track. That track was not.
I've never been there.
Yeah. You didn't miss anything.
Good.
That's good.
Good.
It's all right. Next one. Are you running any more after this? You going to Nashville?
I'm all done.
Until the trials? Yeah, I got to go to Europe.
Ooh. You going to Europe before trials? It's really close.
FBK on the 6th, and then the Florence Diamond League on the 10th.
When are the hurdles early in the trials or towards the end?
Towards the end.
Okay.
25th and 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last 3 days.
You got
technically.
some time then.
Yeah. But I mean, you know your body better than anybody else. I just know going into those meets, I like to be fresh. Like basically, you think it'll be like kind of like regionals right now. So like we'll run really really fast at regionals, and then 2 weeks later, nationals. Yeah. And then now that I don't have to do 10,000 events.
Yeah,
it works out
or a whole bunch of races. Yeah.
It works out very, very well for me. So, I mean, I think like in 2019, I think I was just mentally and physically fatigued when I got to trials.
It's a long season.
I mean, yeah. I think they said before then.
I'm curious, did you know that, like, going into it? Or,
no.
Like, had you heard whispers about that?
About what?
Like, coming off of the collegiate season.
People always talk about it.
Yeah, people always talk about it. But so, at the time, Karan Clement was training in Gainesville still. So he was like, just continue to just stay on top of your treatment, do ice baths, get massage, go to acupuncture. You know, do
That's
all.
funny that Karan told you to stay on top of your ice baths and he doesn't do ice baths. But okay, go ahead.
I don't do ice baths either.
Okay.
He was like, just
Continue.
He was like, stay on top of everything, and when you get, later in the season, you won't really feel it. But it hit me like a truck in 2019. I mean, like I think the first round ran like 13:55, second round ran like 13:4, and then the third round I barely squeaked out like at like 13:3, 13:2, something like that. It was like some of the worst times I produced like at a track meet. But I mean, like now I feel good. Like I said, I just got back from Boston. That was fun. That track sucks, but it was fun. It was fun though. You know what I mean? It was fun just to go there and have a little bit of fun. But other than that though, like I like going into those meets fresh.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You never think it's gonna be you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm good.
Exactly.
Like that's how I was in 2016. I was like, I came off the Olympic trials. Like, oh shit, I just ran 13:0.
Did you run any meets before? I mean, after trials?
I did. Like 10 days later, I ran like this little consolation meet. Me and Jonathan. It was just two of us at the meet they had at Hayward. It was like a pro meet they had, but they didn't have
enough hurdlers.
Well, they did, but we just ran like a separate race for some reason. And I ran 13:16 there too. So I was like, oh, I'm ready. I'm good. Like I'm about to run 12 something, win the Olympics. Great. And I get to the Olympics 4 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like trying to train, like still training and stuff. We were like, man, okay, let's figure this out.
I remember watching both of you guys.
No, it's not even that. It's just like, I'm sure you can attest to it. It's like when you have a long season, especially college.
Yes.
It's good because you're sharp, because you do a lot of racing, you do a lot of training. But by the time it gets to like that end season or like even after the Olympics, this year is going to be those races at the end of the year, like Diamond League and all that stuff. It's just a lot like to be sharp for 3 months or it's just a lot. So
I was just curious because I mean I've been through that where I ran a whole collegiate season, made the world team, thought I'm gonna have this great summer and I was just completely flat, burned out. So it's always interesting, like when we're talking about it, like people are like, oh, you guys are haters and da-da-da-da, and it's like, no, we've just all kind of been through this cycle where we've seen, and it's not that it can't be done, because there are, a handful of athletes that come out and they do it after a long season, but I think, unless you like went into the season, which I think now it's happening more, where like you go in thinking like beyond NCs, like wanting to
especially
go,
if you're like one of the
right,
top,
all the way
tier.
through the summer, but it's hard to come off of a collegiate season where you're in every event contributing points.
Yeah. 4x1, 4x4.
And then to try to come out and medal.
I wanted to win. I just wanted to hold up a title at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you can attest to it. Like, winning individual is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. But like when you have everybody that you've been going through fall training with, the blood, sweat, and tears moment, the picking up after like throwing up from this doing like grass work, like those moments I live for. Like I really, really do enjoy those moments. And like I think the best moment is when instead of winning nationals, but when we win like conference championship, like SEC championship, when you got everybody there. Oh, I think that's the best feeling ever. The best feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's interesting because I used to say when I was in college, like being in like the same heat with some of my teammates, I didn't feel the same nerves that I did when I was by myself. And it is like a individual sport, right? But something to your point, like being out there with your team, going after something as a team was a little bit different than just, competing as the athlete out there. So.
Yeah, and you kind of, there's a different kind of pressure. It's not like you want to do it for the team as opposed to like, I mean, you still want to do well for yourself. Yeah. I remember 2014 when we won our first national title at Oregon. Our director of ops was tasked out to like find me right before the race and tell me, hey, all you got to do is finish. Because we only need 1 point to win the title, to lock it in. Like, don't tell me that. Like, I'm gonna try to win. Like, don't tell me. Oh, all we need is 1 point. Like, just do whatever. Or like, if you fall, get up and finish.
Right.
But I ended up running well and we won. But still, it's kind of like one of those things that like, as a team, you try to put it together. And then we were trying to win it on the football side that same year. I would have been the only.
Ohio State, right?
Yeah, I would have been the only athlete in history to win national title, team title in track and football. In college, but we ended up losing. So
it was you, Marcus
Mariota, Eric Armstead, Defoe, and then the league right now.
Ohio State, Cardell Jones,
Ezekiel Elliott, Bosa.
Was Michael on that team as well?
Michael Thomas. Yeah. Deep.
Just to think about like where everybody is right now, and like you guys all used to be on one team.
Yeah.
That's just I mean, you can say the same thing about like other sports, like Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, Major Wright,
Cam Newton.
Good old Cam. I mean, like it's just crazy to think where everybody was at one point.
Yeah.
Now you see where they're at now.
Yep. So, but yeah, no. To go off of that, yeah. So you're gonna be done after this meet. The reason I'm going to Europe is just because I got a race. I haven't really done that many. I didn't do any indoors, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just got to kind of catch up on just feeling good, like competing.
Mm-hmm. You gonna get it. You gonna. One thing about Devon Allen, he's gonna find a way to. If
there's a way to do it, I'm gonna do it.
Well, Devon said all I need is a pair of blocks and 10 hurdles in the lane, and I've been so happy.
Yeah. So, no, that's good, man. What happened? I mean, I guess you might not know. What happened to Trey at the?
Oh, I don't know. I saw him warming up.
Yeah, that's what Jamie said.
I saw him warming up. I go to my car to get ready to head out. I look at the times. I scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it says DNF.
Yeah. So.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I think something clearly had to get tight, or he hurt himself, or he fell, or something.
He wasn't even in the race.
No, he didn't even start. So I think his next goal is get ready for trials. Yeah. I mean, and Robert Dunning is clearly just taking the.
He's looking legit.
Yeah, he's taking the 110 hurdle field by grip, but I mean, still, Trey ran
22.
He ran 22 at Tom Jones when I ran 07, so he PR'd.
Yep.
And then we went to Jacksonville like a week and a half, 2 weeks later.
We ran 40 into a headwind.
48 into a headwind, so you think that's like 20 low, 20 mid, something like that. I was like, dog, he was on, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you what happened.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. How's your training going?
It's going good. It's interesting.
One more go.
Going good. One more go.
I like it.
One more, and then Mama's out.
Mama's out.
I guess so. Since you're the veteran of the group, what is your like perfect like season structure, like planned out, like going to Europe, getting ready for the U.S. Olympic or World Championship trials, and then like after that making the team, prepping for the championship, and then what do you do after that? Like kind of walk us through like the whole.
Yeah. So
like,
I guess
ideal thing.
Like ideally, but there were two things that obviously made the season different: the pandemic, and now I'm a mom. Mm-hmm. But ideally, I mean, I would have still started. Like I started competing in like late April. Sometimes I run indoors. Most times I run indoors, but sometimes not. But I would have started competing around the same time, but I would have gone overseas. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't
after April.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. So like probably around now would be sometimes like like Doha and Gateshead. Those meets are going on right now, so I would have been at those meets. Yeah, but I wouldn't be over as late as you are. But I think it's also different.
Like 2 weeks once I get back, but it is kind of sketchy with COVID.
But not even so much that. You'll be fine because that's what I'm getting ready to say. Yeah. I think it's different for the 400 versus the shorter sprints, because we just kind of talk about like the fitness and the adjustment of like running a quarter 3 times versus sprinting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just having that recovery coming back. I just think it takes us a little bit longer to be able to bounce back from. So I wouldn't stay out that late, but I would have gone overseas, run a couple of races, and then come back, get like trials. A 2 or 3 week training block in before going into trials.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, and then of course, go back over to Europe in between trials and the games, and then, have a couple meets after the games. But with COVID, I've just kind of been doing the Texas tour. Texas had a bunch of meets.
There's another one next week.
Yeah, Prairie View.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, but like we've been having like ridiculous weather. The weather we had at AP Ranch was crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just crazy wind, and it's just been nuts. And then it's also been different for me being postpartum. Yeah. So learning my new body and training through that. Also training at a different age now, so just kind of understanding the changes, but also not that I can't do what I did before. It's just a little bit different. So where I used to come out and bang out 5 200s now maybe I'll just do 3 of the same quality, but I don't have to do the same repetitions that I did when I was 26. So just understanding those kind of differences. But now I'm just trying to get sharp. Coming off of, I was injured and then I had my baby and then we lost 2020. So like now it's just like getting the races in, trying to get sharp again. So
yeah, and luckily we got some meets like in the U.S. Right, like with the American Track League, and now USATF putting on all the showcase events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it did work out for us. We didn't have to travel as much
because we complain about that every year too, like
Yeah.
having to
I was about
go
to
way
say.
over to Europe and like having quality events at home. Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna last? That's the question.
I hope so. I think if we keep pushing to get in like really good fields like we are,
Like this weekend's prime example.
exactly right. If we can get meets like this every week, obviously, right? We want to, like, if me and Grant can race each other every week or every time we go do a race,
That's easy.
that's what we want to do
Yeah.
because,
We
not
know.
that it's not fun winning
Exactly.
at Boston,
But it's
you
also
want to,
fun winning and making money.
but you want to compete and
You want to be able to compete and also have that. What's the word I want? You also want to be able to compete and also know like, all right, I'm competing against a very high field, not versus going to like these Mickey Mouse meets, making $700.
Tell me about it, because
Yeah.
that's been no shade, but that's been my problem where I'm like, and that's pretty much why I came here, because now I'm just like, I need a challenge, drag my ass around the track, like stick me in the fire. But it's facts, like having good quality races where you're lining up against the best and in front of our home crowd. I mean,
finally first meet with the crowd. Well, actually, I guess Drake realized we had a small crowd, but
How was Drake?
it was good. I mean, I just ran that first round, but
was it rainy there this
no,
year?
the final was
Sunny.
It wasn't that hot though. It's probably like 55, 60 still, but.
Florida boy through and through.
Sometimes we get some good weather. Sometimes it's not as good, but yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. You wouldn't go over to Europe as close as me either. I don't know.
You know what you're doing.
No, I don't know.
Don't even.
I just
You a gamer, dude.
I just need some racing. I just want to race,
Yeah.
and if that means going over and doing that, and then getting some Diamond League points. That's important towards the end of the season after the
I
Olympics.
don't know what Diamond League. I don't even think I'm going to the Diamond League final this year, to be honest, brother.
No.
I don't. No, there's no point for me. I just want a gold medal, and after a gold medal, I feel like everything's obsolete.
just retire.
Yeah, high key. I feel like everything's obsolete.
Hey,
man.
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make the transition over to football. Me and you.
No, you're on your own with that. No,
I
I'm
was
not.
about to say you transitioning too.
No, I'm not transitioning. Devin wants me to. I'll go play
So
7-on-7, but I won't. I'm not getting tackled again. I don't
Okay,
miss
so
that
I'm
life.
curious. Like, is this like a retirement, or like I just want to go play football for a couple years and then I'm gonna come back to track?
For me
like,
or him?
For Devin.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, hey, you don't gotta worry about me getting tackled ever.
See, it's hard because like in my head, my track career went a little bit different post like 2016, 17 when I did stop playing football.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna improve so much, But then I was kind of playing with injuries the last few years, so then it didn't work out that way. So I was like, shoot, I was doing just as well playing football, so I may as well just try to do that. So my goal would be just to play football and then, get a little condensed off season and run and stay in shape, run track, do some hurdle stuff and see what I can do. Obviously, it'd be great to be running 13:0-12s, but we won't know until I get there. So I'm gonna try to do both still.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, as long as I'm healthy, I feel like I can. But
That's what we need to do. I just thought about it.
What's
Need
that?
to do a world's greatest 7-on-7 league.
I'm
Y'all got
quarterback.
That one.
That's fine. I don't care. I'll play that because now I know I'm not getting. Well, it might be a little physical, but like you think about all the track heads that like football.
Yeah.
And we just split up the team. Like
See,
you
but
get like 4 or 5
but-
captains and everybody just draft and you just
unless
do like a little bracket.
unless there's like a big sponsor behind it and a lot of money, no one's gonna do it because you know what happened to Wade Van Niekerk 2 years ago.
I feel bad
Right?
for Wade.
That's not, but that's the thing, right? Like, okay, I understand it. Like he loves rugby and I love football. Okay, great. But like he's charity event, and I'm sure it's for a great cause.
Yeah.
But he put, he's been.
But it, yeah.
But it's
2-3
a lot
years
about
out of the sport.
contracts too, and NFL other sports too. Like they don't want you doing
Other
like
sports, yeah.
other sports or skiing or anything that
No,
you
I'm
could
not doing that, no
potentially
shot.
get injured in because they're making an investment in you. to go out there and perform.
I was just joking. I was talking to my PT this week. I got some new golf clubs, and Grant's a golfer, and my
golf
PT,
is safe.
my PT was like, maybe you should just wait. Like,
there it is.
You're coming off a hip injury. Like, you're feeling good now, but there's no, you go out there and spend 3 hours swinging the club, and then you're like, ooh, my hip hurts. Maybe we should just wait on that.
At Miramar, I was out there with the foam balls. You could ask anybody. They all saw me in this. It was just a wide open field of grass. And I was just out there with my foam balls, just getting on my short game. And then I got out of bed the next day, and my IT band side of my knee was just hyped.
Yeah. Also, group you're not used to using.
So we just wait on it. We'll wait till after the Olympics. Yeah, we'll do a golf tour after that. Yeah.
We got
plenty. Guys, let's go back to football for a second and talk about the other way around. DJ Metcalf.
I wanted to bring that up.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I feel like you would be like the expert.
Yeah.
Well, both of y'all on like this.
I was completely wrong, but keep going.
Track versus football speed.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I was excited to see Metcalf line up. I'm gonna sound like a hater, but I was glad he got his butt whooped because there's just this sense of like
track and field.
Yeah, like before you go back over there, you got to prepare to go back over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just gonna
show up. No.
Yeah, I got this. I got to do this. Like, I just feel like there's that lack of respect for what it is that we do. That, like, we're not saying y'all aren't fast. However, this is fast over here. You know what I'm saying? So let me take you to school. So what's I'm curious to know how you felt about that.
We talked about this. Me and Clayton Murphy, bronze medalist in 2016.
Yeah.
At the 800 meters, we have a podcast called the Track Boys Podcast. And we talked about that when it was announced like a month ago, and Clayton said 10:30, I said 10:40, and he ran 10:36. So it was right in between.
Y'all really gave him some leeway.
So, but here's
10:5.
But here's why.
I mean,
yeah,
he did all right.
That's pretty close. But here's why. So he's an elite athlete. He knows his body. He spends a lot of time in the off season getting strong, working on getting faster, working on getting more mobile and all that stuff. And he has a team around him that obviously knows his body and is like, okay, like, you want to run 100, like, okay, I think that you'll be all right, you'll do fine. So right when he dropped his spikes on the ground and his little Instagram post saying that he was running, that means I know that he was ready to run fast.
Yeah.
How the race went is probably exactly what I expected it to go. I've seen him run. We watched the combine. He ran 4.3.
You watched that NFL clip that went viral?
Yeah, exactly. Him running down Buda Baker.
Yeah.
When they played the Cardinals. And the thing with that is, he's very quick for his size. I mean, obviously he's probably like 6'4", 220. Probably around the time that he ran 225, he might get like to 230, 235 during the football season. And exactly how it went. He started well, and he didn't even fade that much. He just
really did.
He just couldn't hold on like the guys that train for that. Yeah,
exactly.
it's just transition. It's different types of just working on, like, not breaking your form. It's not even like, a lot of people call it deceleration. Is really just, somebody that does it really well, and we all know him, Noah Lyles. He's able just to put his legs underneath his hips every time, and he just keeps rolling over, as opposed to when everybody else gets tired, they kind of go out a little bit, cast out a little bit, and that's when they start to slow down.
Right.
So, like, just being more efficient. So that's where I think he kind of lacks. I don't even think he lacks in the speed department or even the strength. It's really just the technical stuff. And like you said, that's going to take 6 months, a year to figure out how to do it.
Because I don't doubt that he, first of all, we all know that most football players come to track coaches to get their speed up. So I'm sure he had a few weeks of training.
And most football players ran track.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, the elements of, like, what our sport is, too, I feel like, you can go out and run somebody down on the field, and I'm not trying to dismiss what they do, but I think that there is something to be said for getting in the blocks next to someone.
Knowing that they're just as equally fast.
Having to respond to a gun. Not being taken off of your focus. You guys know, like, what it's like to line up next to somebody that is like that. So just the idea that, like, he's going to come over the track and kill it. And it's like, there's so much more that goes into being fast on the track than just, like,
Especially at the level he ran at.
Yeah.
Right? That's like talking me and Grant race. Like, our goal in the hurdles, right, is just to run and focus on every barrier and just, like, next one. But and it don't matter how much you train, how much you meditate and focus, you always
You gonna do one of these.
you feel it. You feel it.
Right.
You feel it, right? Like I'm
Exactly.
like and especially you get those arms flying and stuff like that. So
Or how do you recover if you hit a hurdle
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
you
well,
guys
same
tangle
with
up
you,
with
right?
someone.
You get out of the blocks in that first 150, and someone
just going.
someone's
Yeah,
going.
going crazy.
So then you
Okay,
gotta
Tosh,
think, okay,
don't follow them.
can't panic. Exactly.
Stay in your race mode. Yeah, all of those things.
So-
All of those things.
So that's why I think DK did actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, I'm not taking away from he did do well. But I was just like, the idea, the audacity. It blows my mind every time I watch a football game. And look at so-and-so with the track speed. I'm like,
Tyreek Hill's fast.
He's
he's fast.
Hey,
just say he's fast.
Me-
Leave track out of it.
He's a year older than me, and I ran at USA Juniors against him.
Oh really?
And we ran. I that was back when I was still sprinting a lot, so
Yeah.
I ran the hurdles, and I also ran the 200.
Yeah.
I think that race I ran like 2090 or 2080, and he ran like 2020.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was the year he got like second or third at World Juniors.
Yeah.
And the 200,
Yeah,
he ran like
see,
2020 or
guys
something
like
like that,
that,
like legit.
Ted Ginn. I was on a World Junior team with World Youth.
Yeah.
Jamal Charles. Like, there are guys
Marquise
that
Goodwin,
Marquise that they're track fast.
Yeah.
But they know the difference between track fast.
Well, and you just got,
football
like you
fast.
said, you just got to spend time
Yeah.
doing it. It's
Yeah.
just like anything, right? Like, if my goal is to play football,
You
like
gonna focus on
realistically, am I gonna just finish the Olympics and go straight to the NFL, like straight into the league 6 weeks from the start of the season? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take like a year to transition, start training, get my weight up,
Yeah.
start doing football stuff, and then I'm gonna get into it. So,
Yeah.
and I just know, like realistically, like I would love to just jump in, but I just
And I mean, I think also the good thing too is obviously it's transferable from track to football
Yeah.
in terms of like obviously taking speed, but
so what I do is I'm trying not to get tackled, right? My thing is,
Yeah, and I guess we've seen that work for Carlin Isles in rugby.
that's what I'm saying.
It's-
He just takes off. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah, I do.
okay, so moment of transparency. That is the one. So Carlin was actually training with our group,
Really?
right? We were training for the 2012 games, and it's like 3 weeks before trials, and he's like, "I'm not gonna make this team. I'm about to go play rugby." I talked so much cash money. I was like, how do you just drop something? These people have been training for just the same explanation that I just had. These people have been training for so long. You just feel like you're just going to walk over there and just make the rugby team. He shut my ass up. He shut me up because he went over there, made the team, and he's not getting tackled because he's so fast. He's faster than everybody. Yeah. And he's crazy. I mean, that one, I'll take that L because I for sure was like, there's no way. Like, that's so disrespectful.
He found like the perfect match for him too. Playing. I think at the Olympics they play sevens,
Yeah.
right? So there's not as many people on the field, anyways. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go.
Exactly.
Gotta be 7 people. Go.
So,
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was training with you
Yeah,
guys.
we were in the same group, and it was literally just a few weeks before trials,
Yeah.
and we were just like, "What? Like, that's all right." But he, like I said, he shut me up. Go do your thing. Now I'm like, okay, Carlin, that used to be my training partner. Yeah, I guess I would say that. What I like, you guys wouldn't know what it is. I'm West Indian, so Palau.
I know what Palau is.
You do?
No.
Well, you
what
know
is it?
Quran, so I thought you would have known.
Oh,
It's-
no.
It's kind of like it's our version of like a jambalaya, but it's like rice, peas,
Ooh, I would love it. I love rice.
chicken, pigtail.
Okay. Let's not get hasty.
Yeah.
Let's not get hasty.
Pumpkin. No, it's really good. But
Okay.
that's.
I mean,
not
I'm
enough.
always
But
open
I
trying new
eat
stuff.
whatever. I love food, so.
That's what I'm getting ready to go do at 3:30. I'm gonna go meet my mom and eat some food. That's all I've been doing. I feel
You
like
going to the track at 7?
No.
Okay.
I have this thing called relaxation for the rest of the day.
You already
I love
shake out?
it.
No, I'm gonna
I
shake
know.
out when I go check into my other hotel. Bro, yesterday was a shit show.
Why?
Finished up at the track.
That's
No,
right.
no.
I forgot East Region.
Was it
was
Friday? No,
down
it was-
here.
Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Finished up at the track yesterday doing my pre-meet. Coach Holloway gets a call, blah, 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 blah. Basically, me and Kyra's rooms, where we were at with the University of Florida, I guess they didn't extend it all the way through. So we had to go back, and we had to basically get out the room.
Right away.
Yeah, basically. So afterwards, like, there's no rooms open because it's the fucking regional meet. So, like, literally everything is, like, booked. So, like, literally I didn't get in I didn't get a room until like 7:30, 8 o'clock at the extended stay for a night, and then now there's like a whole bunch of hotels open up.
Yeah, now you can stay at the meat hotel if you need to.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, like literally did my last rep. Coach Holloway gets the call, and it's like, all right, let's start speeding up the process.
Add it up.